above all other gods, we lay our crowns and worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crown, worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crown and worship you. Oh, be lifted above all other gods. We lay our crowns and worship you. Oh, be lifted above all other gods. Jesus, we bow before your throne. We bow before the throne. Father, we give you all the glory. Oh, be lifted above all other gods. We lay our crowns and worship. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crown and worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay, Father, we bow before the throne. Adiamos. For you are God, Elohim, ancient of days, reign, reign, reign. There is none like you, God. We lay your crowns.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So welcome. Good afternoon. So welcome. All right, to our afternoon session on Impact Royal TV. Something in it for you. Just before we go on for today's talk, let me encourage you by being a blessing to our community, to your brother. Impact Royal TV. Go online, go on YouTube, subscribe, register, take the alert notification so that whenever program is on, you can be alerted. Also, it's not just going to be a Christian channel alone. There's so many activities we're planning. There are going to be news, there are going to be comedy, there are going to be music, there are going to be talk show, We have loads of activities coming up on this platform. It is a place to be, it's a place to be connected to. And you do not have to be United Kingdom before you feature on this platform. Anywhere you are in the world, you can easily be connected and you can feature. If you want to run your programs, your ministry, your business, you want to do advert, whatever it is that you want to do, you're very much welcome. Very much welcome. And I want to thank God for you, and I want to really appreciate you for allowing me to come to your screen this afternoon. And I do know that you may likely be busy at work, or if you are in different part of the world, United States, like my sister-in-law right now in the United States, just registered and subscribed. So it's early morning in Chicago. So different part of the world, different season. But the good thing about the whole thing is you can always go back to watch the program. Another good thing you can do, you can share it on your platform. It can become a blessing to everyone that is connected to you. Or even you yourself, you can go back at another time to go and listen. See, there was a broadcast that I did many years ago and on Nigeria FM, and I went back to go and look at, just to watch some of the scripts. I was so blessed with a particular one that I couldn't believe it. I was so blessed, and that I never thought I was the one that did the program. He was I was. So what I'm saying technically is you can still be blessed. You can still be blessed. It doesn't matter how, when you now go back to wash, it can still be a blessing to you. So what you just need to do is to connect someone. Share it on someone's platform. And let somebody be blessed with today's message. So this afternoon, I'm going to look at happiness in life. Happiness in life. That's what we're going to talk about today. Happiness in life. And I want you to know something that we're running. We just want to be happy. Just a second, I need to do something. Right. So, as I've said, we deserve to be happy. And that's the more reason that I want to look at this topic today, happiness in life. The real issue of life is the fact that you labor day and night, struggle, do all sorts of things for the fact that you went to school, do a lot of studies, labor, so many things that may not be able to mention them all at the moment, but all in search for happiness. So I want to look at happiness as a real state of mind. The real state of mind. And for that reason, you discover that the real source of happiness lies in the mind, not in external circumstances. Lies in the mind, not in external circumstances. You see, many people make themselves happy, maybe by buying stuff, go out for shopping, spend money, buy gold, buy clothes, buy shoes. They become a compulsive buyer. Can I shock you? Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm a doctor of philosophy, not a medical doctor. My PhD is in philosophy, eco-theology, not medical. But I do know few things. That when you start to become a compulsive buyer, and you say that it makes you happy when you do shopping, underneath that, there is a depression. So, in other words, the gold and silver, the clothes, the shoes, the diamond, and all that stuff you're buying is to look for happiness. External happiness is what you're looking for. And therefore, that external circumstances in itself cannot give you happiness, because happiness is of the mind. It's of the mind. And because you're unable to find that, a number of people become miserable. They become miserable because they couldn't find the true sense of happiness. They couldn't find. This talk today about happiness in life is going to provoke some thoughts. And the whole idea of something in it for you is for you to be able to grab something that you go away and reflect on. Even though you are at work, even though you're in a different part of the world, the time difference, but there's always something, just like the theme is, something in it for you. Something in it for you. And that's why the Bible describes that there's only one way to find happiness. And that is a relationship with Christ Jesus. It's the best way to find happiness. But you see, our mind is an integral part of that element of relationship. You cannot just say you're relating to Jesus or to God bodily without your mind. Your mind is an integral part. And that happiness needs to generate right from your mind. Right from your mind. If your mind is peaceful, joyful, then you will find happiness, regardless of your external circumstances. So in other words, it's not what you wear technically, or the car that you drive, the home. I'm not saying they are not important. Don't get me wrong. We've seen people driving Lamborghini, expensive car, living in a mansion, having all the gold and diamond, everything that, the money can buy. They have it all, but they're still not happy. They're still not happy. Sometimes when you see them, they look miserable, because they have been able to prove that money does not necessarily mean happy. Somebody that, there's a guy some years back, he won a lottery. So all he wanted in his life was to be rich, and he had the money. But the lottery money turned to destroy his life. He ended up in prison. And he discovered that the lottery do not really give him the happiness that he so much desire. So if your mind is pure and peaceful, then you find happiness, regardless of your external circumstances. So let me look at two types of happiness. Two types of deceptive happiness. What I meant by that is this. You're looking good facially, with makeup, pedicure, nice perfume, you smell nice, everything look good, look good, everything look good on you. And deep down in you, you're not happy. You're not really happy deep down in you. All what you have done is to display external happiness in a deceptive way. In a deceptive way. And when you look at that, there is no true sense of happiness in it. And deep down in you, there is an amount of pain, an amount of depression, an amount of dissatisfaction. But what you do is to use what you have, the material resources, to project yourself as being happy. And that is deception. And that's what is called deceptive happiness. And if you increase the amount of your worldly materials, you still discover that that in itself will still not give you the satisfaction that you require. It's still not going to give you. Because it is deceptive, it is external. The second type of happiness is called ultimate happiness. Ultimate happiness. And that technically means, regardless of what happens to others, regardless of what anyone say, your happiness comes from within. From within. You do not look at other people, ways of life, what they do, what they possess, which house, which property, which gold, which phones, which shoes and all that. You care less about it because their happiness is their own happiness. And you never allow their own happiness to bother you or to trouble you. You derive your own happiness within your sphere. You derive your own happiness. And that is what is called the ultimate happiness. So the supreme goal of every human in life is to be happy. But let your that happiness be ultimate, not deceptive. Not deceptive. So we must ask ourselves, what do we desire or wish or desire that we want that will ultimately make us happy? Is your wish or desire are things that will ultimately make you happy? Is it material possession? Children, husband, wife, good job, good accommodation, good business? There are so many things that could make a man unhappy, that could make it maybe the source of sadness or issues to other people. So it is a dangerous step for you to measure your happiness based on other people's ways of life, based on what they wear, what they drive, what they eat, where they go. They may be doing all that just to cover up. And that's what I said, if you're a compulsive buyer, there's an underlying statement that something is wrong with you. You may be going through depression. But it will be pretty difficult for somebody to say it because they just use what is available to cover up, and that becomes deceptive. You can imagine how many number of people that is going through that. That is going through what is called deceptive. How many number of people going through? And until you get to a point in your journey that you realize that your happiness is not based on what somebody is wearing. That is not based on what somebody is doing. That your happiness is based on you, yourself. What makes you happy? And that does not necessarily mean material resources. You see, as I've said, that many people are unhappy, they're bitter, in many cases without any joy or peace in their life. At a time you're looking for husband or wife, you look for children. People that is husband, wife, and children become their source of unhappiness. At the time they're looking for the unhappy because they want this. Now, that same joy, husband, wife, children, jobs, and so on that you're so much looking for may not turn out to become a source of unhappiness too. So what does happiness really entail then? In my own little way, I've come to realize that the key thing that can give you happiness is when you get to a level of contentment. When you get to the level of contentment. Contentment as a concept means whatever you have, you're happy with it. If there's food on your table, glory. If there is no food today, does not mean there's going to be food tomorrow. And that's when a man gets to the level of contentment. If you buy your, what you wear from low-level market, does not mean that when you get to the outing occasion that somebody went to Arrows and other top store to buy their stuff that they're going to ask you to go out. The fact of the matter remains, you may buy gowns or things in thousands of pounds you may not have fitting, and it may not fit you well. And I've seen people on, it looks fit on them, they look good on them, and they carry it with style, with elegance, with style and elegance. So the issue of material being the source of happiness is been condemned and disputed many times, for the fact that the rich should have continued to be the most happiest people. But you discover that they're not. And that's why you see the children of so many rich people committing suicide, even the rich, the millionaires committing suicide, taking their own lives, ended up with drugs, because there is something missing in their life, that is happiness. All what they struggle, all what they're fighting for. If you see someone, so in other words, happiness matters. It's more important than anything else that you have. And if you do not have it, you become miserable. You become miserable. You see, the former Archbishop of York, Dr. Reverend John Sentamu, this is what he said some years back. And he said, this nation is prosperous. That is United Kingdom. But not many people is happy. You can see. This nation is prosperous. But he said not many people are right. The Reverend Dr. Sentamu was absolutely right. Not many people is happy. Many a time we journey through life and find ourselves at a dead end. Many a times we get to a junction that we could not go further. Many a times you see a lot of people that they come to see you, that they want to have a talk with you. The moment they started talking, they will start to shed tears. Sometimes you see some people, you can read their eyes, you can read their face, you can see their countenance, that they are sad. They are really, really sad. They have nothing you will do for that kind of individual that is going to be more than what he or she desire. That happiness. That happiness. So when Reverend Dr. Sentamu, Bishop Sentamu, the Archbishop of York at the time, made that statement, some people do not really understand what he was talking about. But thank God that today, the statement was very clear to people that yes, the nation can be prosperous, but people can still feel unhappy. In other words, all I've been saying since, the fact that happiness got nothing to do with money. You can have money, you can have husband, you can have wife, you can have children, you can, have so many possessions, you can still be unhappy. You can still be unhappy. Because you discover that so many people are frustrated. So many are unhappy because the marriage that they're looking for, or the relationship, the children, the business that they struggle for, they labored for, cried to God for, went to the mountain, sacrificed, fasting, now become the major cause of their unhappiness. Like what we said in Nigeria, this life is not balanced. It's not balanced at all. The poor crying to God for good health. Then the rich too cry to God for good health. So we now look at the fact that what can really be the source of happiness to man? What can really be? You see, when a man is not happy, then you can begin to see the level of frustration in what he does, in the way he relates, the way he reacts, the way he responds to issues, the way he says things, with what is going on all around him. It is what is inside of you that will reflect outside. You can be deceptive, as I've said earlier, about your external circumstances, but there are some people that can read body language. They will easily read you out and realize that you're not projecting who you say you are, because deep down in it, you're not happy. Some people will respond to issue, they will respond to that argument or statement, thing, will turn to fight, will turn to war, will turn to, and also you're looking at, outward appearance. The inward appearance of this individual is not projecting the outward that you see, because the man or the woman is not happy. It's not happy. Perhaps maybe the kids not doing well, the finances becoming a monster, and you have one scenario after the other to deal with. Just like what most men of God or women of God goes through. See, some months back, I think it was last year, a man of being suicide. The thing is, everyone around could not see in him. What they could see was just the outward appearance. You smile, you pray, you preach, you are there. Everyone wants to take a piece out of you. The thing is, I've been there before. And that's why I, know how to talk about these things. I was there. Even at the time I was going through serious unhappiness, inward, you still have to come and project to the outside world, because they're all looking up to you. So we've been brought up that you have to be a man. You must be it. As if there is something wrong in you crying out that you need help. But you've been brought up that you have to behave like a man, you have to act like a man, and you discover that many men of God are dying silently. Many men of God are dying silently. You see, you could be going through the pressure of work. when result is not coming the way you should. Okay, thank God that in today's world now, unhappiness is now turned to mental health issue. Yes, because when depression set in, it affects your mental being. It's dangerous. Very, very dangerous than any other thing you can imagine. Unless it has never happened to you. I have been there, beloved. I have gone through that. I have experienced it. That's why I know how to talk about it today. I've experienced it in marriage. I've experienced it in ministry. I've experienced it as a result of trusting friends. Trusting friends. I've experienced it. So, if you've been there like me, then you know what it means. But in spite of all that, you still have to do what you need to do because you have to be man up. That's the way you've been brought up, to be man up. You see how that in today's world, they give up. Just believe me, friends. Your life will always be filled with challenges. Our life will always be filled with challenges. And it is better to admit this as a fact of life. As a fact of life. And when you do, then you can try to get yourself happy rather than being miserable. Rather than being miserable. No one can help you completely. They can only offer a little way, a leeway. Maybe take some burden away from you, maybe do some silent things, but your happiness have to be within. You need to generate that happiness. You need to identify the cause of your happiness. What is the way forward? What can you do? How can you deal with it? What are the solutions? But the good news is this, that there is nothing that happened underneath the sun that there is no solution. Nothing happened, there is no solution. One of the things I have come to conclusion in the journey of my life is, no matter what happens, suicide is out of it. I am not afraid to fall, but because I trust in the Lord that rejoice not my enemy. When I fall, I will rise. Micah chapter 7. Then rejoice not my enemy. When I fall, I will rise. There is hope that you will rise. But there is no hope when you're dead. You're finished. So why taking that horrible steps? If you need to step down, step down. If you need to leave, leave. If you need to go on sabbatical, go on sabbatical. Go and refresh your brain, refresh your life. Go. I mean, so that you get your sanity back. You get it back. We do need it. If you have never been there, as I've said, you will not understand. I've been there. So life will always be filled with challenges. As I've said, it is better to admit it. Do something about it, rather than you continue to be miserable. Life doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way, but it is. Because if you look at Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, the scripture says, I know the plans that I have for you. It says it's a good plan. It's a plan of peace. It's a plan of joy. A plan of blessing. A plan of happiness. Those are the things that God has for you. But look at the circumstances of life. Look at the situation of life. Another man mistake could become your unhappiness. It could become your unhappiness. You cannot legislate about how somebody is going to behave, how they're going to relate, what they're going to do, what step they're going to take. So you cannot. So anything can happen. And if it does happen, what do you do? What do you do? But one of the things I have come to realize is that in dealing with unhappiness, it might be a process for God to prepare you for the next, where relationship comes into it. That's where people that you surround yourself with comes into it. Who are the people you relate to, relate with, talk to? What company, what association do you belong to? Are the people that have shoulder you can lean on, or are the people that are ready to crush you in your going down, because your downfall will give them a platform? Are those the kind of people you have all around you? These are things that you need to really look into. But understanding the fact that sometimes in your going through, it may be a license for the next level of your life. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift make room for him. For your gift to make room for you, there could be challenges. Go and read the story of David. He had a gift, he had a talent. The talent made room for him to enter into the palace. And from there, the challenges of his life come. I'm sure he would have regretted at a stage in his life that why did I have to use my gift? Just remain until my come. His own father-in-law. But thank God that all that started well ended well. So stop getting yourself worried about what what can be fixed. Mortgage, yes, it can be fixed. Car loan, yes, it can be fixed. It can be, it can be paid off gradually. But thank God for this part of the world. If you do not drive a car, does not mean you're a bad person. Does not mean the end of you. Does not mean you are poor. The most important thing is to get from one bus stop to another bus stop, from one destination to another destination. We are going to arrive at our destination. You are going to. So don't let anyone stress your life out. Don't let any circumstances depress you. Don't let. Just like one of my friends always says, look, put it on your shoulder and shake it off. If you're dead, you can't amend anything. And if you get yourself to a level that the depression, went into it, and you ended up in hospital and being sanctioned, then you making matters worse. So don't hide. The essence of this program that I'm doing today is to encourage someone to speak out. It doesn't matter your level. It doesn't matter your office. It doesn't matter your category. Have issues to deal with. So you need to speak out. You need to talk to someone. When you're talking to someone, don't talk to people that will mock you. Don't talk to people that will laugh at you, make a jest of you, compound your issues. But talk to people that can make a difference. Talk to people that can make a difference. So, in life, unhappiness can fasten your death. It can make you to die before your time. It can terminate your destiny. And that's the more reason that you need to find that happiness. Whatever you need to do to find happiness, do it. We live our life for others. But if you are not one of those people, then look for your own happiness. Find your own happiness. Do what makes you happy. Because one thing you need to understand, that you only live but once. You only live but once. So there is no second chance. Oh, let me go back again so that I can put things right. You live but once. And there is no point in you not enjoying your life. Enjoy it to the fullest. You labor for it. Enjoy the work of your hand. If perhaps you are blessed, then do whatever it is that give you that deep happiness and satisfaction, so that you can spend more time in enjoying the labor of your hand and spend more time with your friends and family. But if you fail to do so, you get yourself into the state of worriness, then get something clear. You are reducing your life, your lifespan. So you are shortening it bit by bit. And your immune system will go down. You are prone to attack of any viruses. And the next thing that will happen is nothing but death. And people will begin to wonder, what killed him? He's very healthy. He was here yesterday. He was this. He was that. They'll start to say, be wondering, but they never know that you use clothes to cover the inside. All they see is the outside, but not the inside. The inside is what you need to work on. Enjoy life at full blast. And do not wait too long, because you will be there when they will start to share the fruits of your labor. You will not be there. You will have gone when they will start to fight on your property, when they will start to share it. Those ones that they do not need, they will give them to charity. You labor, others enjoy. May that never be your story. Oh, I'm doing this because of all my children. Oh, I'm laboring because of my children. I'm laboring because of my family. I'm not saying you should not do it, but also have it at the back of your mind that if you fail to yourself, you cannot blame your children, you cannot blame anyone. You can only blame yourself. Because at the time you've been expecting your children to look after you, they now have responsibility. They have their own children. They have their own mortgage. They have their own car loan. They have, they have so many things that they want to do. And if care is not taken, they may not even be living in the same country with you. So, your health that you have not taken care of, from one full-time job to another full-time job, from you work day and night, you do night shift somewhere, another day somewhere, night somewhere, day somewhere. Let me tell you, beloved, you are not going to take all this money to heaven. And if you're not very careful, as I've said many, many times, it may quicken your death. So enjoy life to the full. Do not live it too long if you do not want all that to enjoy the labor of your hand. Because there is no better time than now to make yourself happy. Make yourself happy now. And let me conclude by saying this to someone. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. And the decision you make today will determine your true happiness. So stop complaining, because a life of complaining will age you prematurely, and that life will quicken your death. Yet, if all you do is to complain and complain, doing nothing about it, I encourage you, in this something in need for you, to start to think of yourself. Start to reflect about your life and start to do something about it. Whatever you need to do that will give you happiness, do it. Let your life be number one. Because you are the number one. You are the one that work. You are the one that labor. Then enjoy the fruit of your labor. So stop your complaining attitude and get a life. But let me conclude with this. If material possession, intellectual engagement, education, career, marriage or children do not give you the happiness that you so much desire, then have a relationship with God, and that will give you everlasting happiness. Have a relationship with God through Christ Jesus, then you will find that inner peace. This is what I have come to share with you today. Your happiness matters. Don't negotiate it. Don't let it be at the subject of others. Never surrender your happiness to other people. It doesn't matter how powerfully placed they are in your life, your happiness matters. Many of us, we have mortgaged our happiness, and guess what? Because you want to please others. Now today, they moved on in their own life. You're the one going through the pain. We're the one going through the affliction. You have never gone through, you wouldn't understand. I speak from personal experience. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you this afternoon. Try as much as possible to share it. Let somebody too listen to this and be blessed. Finally, subscribe. Help us to spread this channel. Be your brother's helper. Be a blessing to your brother. This is our own thing. Help us to spread it. Help us to spread it. You register, subscribe, tell friends and family to subscribe. It's the channel to look forward to, because we have so many activities coming up. We're going to be having a medical tips. We're going to be having a news all over the world. We're going to have church program. We're going to have music. So many things are going to come up. And it's going to be different people from different parts of the world. And let's spread it. Let's spread it. It is to be a blessing to other people. This evening, I want to invite you to Unchurch, that branch of our church, for a special evening prayer at 7 p.m. And it's going to be led by a wonderful son of mine, gifted, well anointed, well talented. You can imagine if I say that to you, that even me, I always log on to receive under him. That will give a clear picture that yes, he is talented, he is gifted. But so join us tonight at 7 p.m. Intercession with God by Evangelist Akikumi Akinleye. I'm going to be there. You too join us. Prayer works. You need that prayer. It's often said that Jesus started with prayer, he ended with prayer. So you too join us tonight. And I look forward to welcome you. Until such a time I come your way again, subscribe on YouTube channel, Impact Royal TV. Subscribe on Facebook, Impact Royal TV. Invite friends and family. Let's make it to go viral. God bless you and enjoy the rest of the day.